hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Launchpad. My name is Grant. Today, I am joined by Luci. Luci, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Yeah, so we are here. Let's set the stage for everybody. We're here in the very loud green room. Very, very loud green room.
Talking over a lot of bass.
Yeah, talking over a lot of bass, but we're making it work. Yeah, right before the very first stop on your tour, your first ever headlining tour, how are you feeling the vibes going into the set tonight and just the tour in general? Walk me through the feelings there.
It's like a mix between terrified, excited, sleep deprived, and very happy.
Very happy? Okay.
It's a lot of different vibes. I'm stoked because I get an hour and 30 minutes, so I get to explore like a lot of realms that usually you don't get to when you only have an hour. So yeah, I'm excited.
So I mean, that's like typical time for a set is like an hour. So like, do you feel like hour and a half is like the best time for a set? Like if you could have your pick, how long would your set be?
30.
Hour 30? That's like the sweet spot?
Because I sing. So like when you sing, there's like longer parts. I'm not just like chomping in like basses. So I feel like I'm like screaming.
Yeah, I thought the bass goes down for a second.
Bass goes down, so now we talk normal. Yeah, I feel like an hour and 30, you just get to create this whole like story, and then an hour for me can be good. 45 minutes. Festival sets are so rushed for me.
Yeah, it's sure you gotta rush through it.
I don't love them because it seems so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm stoked to have an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, hell yeah. We get to explore a lot of the awesome music you've been releasing lately. One of the beautiful things that you've been putting out that actually came out today, your debut album. Talk to me a little bit about it. Obviously, it got pushed back a little bit from what it was supposed to be. A lot of it. We were talking about it beforehand for a variety of reasons. But now that it's finally out, what's been the reception to like the album coming out? How have people been responding to it? How do you feel now that it's finally out to the public? All this hard work you've been putting in for years now.
I'm sorry, the bass is just like, whoa. And you're like being so cute, and you're like, how do you feel about it? It's just like, whoa. Like behind us. But I feel great, honestly. I feel like the response has been really good because like this whole album is a different genre, right? It's all pop. Yeah. And I used to be experimental bass, so I went into a completely different genre, and then I have 3 remixes, which are all like melodic bass, heavy, which is gonna show the next era. Like those remixes are like kind of like a foreshadow of the next era. Yeah. So this was my pop era of it, but like I'm so for the next era because like people are like, oh, we miss like the experimental bass. I got experimental bass coming, right? But my favorite thing right now producing is future bass. Like, I'm so obsessed with Millennium, and I always have been in Slander. So that's my next era, is that.
Like, moving more towards, like, kind of the similar stuff that they've been doing?
Yeah, like, I think he's just, like, really captured. There's something about his lyrics and the future bass sound I've always loved. So why not explore that?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah, so like
pop, so might as well do another one.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about that. So like, what was the inspiration for like kind of switching over and doing a little bit, like leaning a little bit more into the pop side of things?
It was a lot of delusion.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about that.
I just basically started writing. I went through a breakup, and then I started writing an album, and it wasn't experimental bass.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can either alter this to be what it wasn't supposed to be, or I can just make it true to myself and put out something very authentic. And even if it doesn't get the same response as like putting out a dubstep song would, I still know like in my heart, like I love these songs and I made them the way I feel like they should be. And yeah, I think I just like felt very disconnected a little bit from the electronic world. I think 2020 was really hard for me.
Yeah.
It was hard for everybody.
Yeah, it's time away from like what we all love. So like,
yeah, it was like a whole like year and a half of me like literally not playing a show, and I think I got probably like 90% of my happiness from playing shows. So I was like fell in a depressive episode, and I was like, how am I gonna, like, what is my happiness? So making this album was my happiness. And even though it wasn't what everyone thought it was going to be, like an experimental bass, dubstep, whatever, I really love it. And I do think it's really good. And I think it's so hype. Like, I don't know. I love it. So I'm stoked.
I listened to your album earlier today, actually, and I will say I also love it, too. I'm curious to hear from you, though. Do you have a favorite track on the album? Is there, like, one that you're, like, extra proud of, or do you love them all equally like they're your children?
Well, I would say...
That's a loaded question.
Karma, the remix, I'm really proud of because I think it's, like, the perfect balance between... like that beautiful future bass vibe, but heavy.
Yeah.
And I like Gold by Millennium and Excision is like one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
So
great fucking song. Yep.
Iconic.
Yep.
So I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like I can really capture that song, like that sound. And yeah, I'm really proud of that remix. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. So, I mean, we were talking a little bit earlier about like the new era that you're trying to move into, kind of like leaning into like a Millennium slander kind of vibe a little bit. Yeah. Are there like some of the artists, or are there other artists that you look to currently for inspiration right now?
Yeah. Obviously Millennium. I've like always been like obsessed with his production, and like I think he does a really good job at collabing with really talented songwriters. And I think people kind of forget how important songwriters are.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about, like, Slander's song, Love Is Gone, Dylan Matthews, I think his name is.
Song, yeah.
That song is gorgeous, like, the production, but those lyrics are just everything, and I am such a big songwriter. Like, there's only I'm usually the only person, like, songwriting my songs, or there's, like, a co-writer on Bittersweet, but my next era, there's only me, because I feel like I'm good enough now. But
yeah, your true authentic self. I love it.
But songwriting is just the most beautiful to me. Like, if anything, like, there's just something about, like, literally I'm going through something and then I make it into a song. I just feel like that's the coolest thing ever. So I feel like it goes unnoticed sometimes.
Yeah, no, it definitely does, because it's like one of those things that people don't really think about. But like when you're an artist, like making that kind of music, it's at the forefront of your mind all the time, and it might not necessarily be super evident to the people hearing it all the time. I want to talk a little bit about like your journey of how you first got into music.
Yeah.
Can you like walk me through a little bit of your story of like how'd you get introduced into music? It's like particularly like into like the EDM world and everything too.
I know exactly what happened. I was like 17. I snuck into EDC Orlando.
Okay.
I was wearing fluffies. I looked very plur. And
vibes.
I saw Alice in Wonderland. I always tell this story. I saw Alice in Wonderland, and I just like thought she was the coolest thing. She sang. She like lost herself in the music, and I was like, I felt so connected to her, and I was like, this is what I want to do. Talked about it for like 5 years, and then 21 is when I started.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. So, Alice in Wonderland was the initial inspiration.
Yeah. Seeing her was just like, she's amazing. So I've always been a big fan of hers, but she was definitely the first introduction. Like I was seeing other DJs before then, but like when I saw her, I just felt connected. Maybe it's because she's female, she's a songwriter, but it was just like something in my internal being be like, this is, like, you feel like you should be there. So, yeah. And then there was like 5 years where I just partied and headbanged for a couple years. And I was like, all right, let's be serious.
Yeah.
So
I like that. So, I mean, obviously you've seen like plenty of success since like you've started making music and taking it a little bit more seriously here. Are there artists out there that, like smaller artists that you feel like should be getting more recognition than they have been?
Oh my God, there's so many. Honestly,
throw me a couple names. Let's shout some people out. Let's show some gratitude out here.
Elon Dust is amazing.
Okay.
Fuck, there's so many. My ADHD is like...
Is this all these apes like bouncing around in your head? Yeah.
It's trying to figure it out. There's so many. I just feel like... And you know who does a really good job at showcasing artists is fucking Shaq. Like, is such a cute man. Like, he just supports people so much, especially people that aren't to like his caliber.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, there's so many people, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they're gonna fucking make it. And if anything I could do that's gonna help them, you know, I will do when I get to that point. But yeah, there's so many. I should make you guys a list because I will not remember everybody's.
I love it. Yeah, give us a list.
I got you.
We'll promote those people on our end too. I love that. Is there a dream artist that you would go back to back with?
Okay, I don't know. Okay, back to back is kind of hard because I sing, right? So like,
Yeah.
it's always been a weird thing. I don't think I've ever back to back with anyone except for WAKAAN, for like a family set, which I kind of miss those. I miss that era sometimes. But most person I want to collab with is Millennium.
I mean, that's a great answer right there. Who wouldn't want to go back to back with Millennium?
I mean, I don't think I'd be too scared to go back to back with him, but to collab, because I'm just like, oh, I can write you a really good song, and we could get this going. But back to back, I'd be like, no. Like when I first was back to back with like Martin, like with Changer and all of them, I was like, how is this happening? Like I am a 21-year-old, like, just like
Still like out of place. Like,
yeah. Was just like chilling like with my passionina and my spoon like a year ago. All of a sudden I'm like on fucking a bass stage with like the WAKAAN family. It was crazy, but yeah, I don't know. Life has been weird but awesome.
That's weird but awesome. That's a great way to describe life right there. I want to ask. So obviously you've had we'll call it an interesting journey in your time since that's putting it lightly since your time like coming onto the scene and like DJing and producing music. If you could like describe your journey and your experience so far in like 3 words, how would you describe it?
A beautiful clusterfuck.
A beautiful clusterfuck.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, because like I'm so grateful for all the fans and for my team for like everything I have been granted with, and I'm so appreciative every single day. But there's so much behind the scenes and so much mentally that's really like it's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to get like very personal, and it's like
I know. It's kind of hard to like dive into it with.
I'm like, yes, it's getting really personal. Yeah, no, but yeah, a beautiful clusterfuck. Like, I'm very appreciative of everything. But yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I honestly think that this is still the beginning, which I keep reminding myself of. Like, I am nowhere near what I like envision.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to like be more in the moment and appreciate where I'm at instead of being like, okay, cool, I just did this, but I want this. Like, you're never satisfied if you live like that, and it's really hard to get out of that. I'm trying every single day to be like, you know what, like, fuck yeah, I'm playing shows. Like, this is fucking everyone's dream.
Yeah, not only you're playing shows, you're headlining tour that you're starting. Plus, you just dropped an amazing album that everybody should go listen to if they haven't already. You're seeing success, but you're not content with the success. Like, you want to keep growing, and you want to be.
It's like I dropped my album today, and the album is like 2-3 years old, so it's just like it's bittersweet, right? What's the album name? Because it's like, fuck yeah, thank God it's out, but then it's like, we got so much shit to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just stoked for the next era. I'm stoked for this tour, but like the new music I have. There's so many comments I get there, like, oh my God, where's like the weird bass Luci? And I got like elevated versions of that, and then I got the future bass. I don't know. I'm like, I played Paradise Blue, which is an Excision event in Cancun earlier this year. I think it was like March.
Yeah.
And that set made me like fall back in love with this scene.
Yeah, and everything.
It was everything. Like I was like, wait. This is my community. Like there was like a time where I felt really disconnected. Like I kind of felt like the EDM community didn't like me anymore. So that was kind of hard. But I don't know. When I played that festival, I just felt so connected. Everyone around me, like the Excision crew, they're so great. Excision, like all of him, Emma. I don't know. I just felt like it was a family, and then I went back home and I wrote an EDM album. So
I love that. Well, I'm glad that you fell back in love with EDM.
Me too.
I am very happy that you're invested in the scene again. And I'm sorry that you ever felt that way. I'm sorry that anybody in the scene made you feel that way.
I think everyone, like, someone told me once that if people are, like, hating on you and calling you overrated, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
And it's really hard because, like, I'm a people pleaser.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough being a people pleaser like that.
And I am, like, always kind to everyone because, like, it's just who I am. So when people are, like, hating on me, it kind of hurts. But then I'm like, I can't please everyone.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, there's only so much you can do.
But it's a hard thing to learn. But
It takes some time to get there.
But I feel like now I'm good in the EDM community again. I feel like we're cute, we're vibing. I'm, like, doing my pop thing, I'm doing EDM. I don't know, I'm just fucking having fun. I hate, like, sticking to a genre.
Important.
Yeah. We're gonna go all over the place.
I love that. I love what everything you're saying about just embracing your authentic self and just not feeling like you need to stick to rules or sticking to, like,
so
what people expect of you.
Yeah, so many people, like, I had an old manager who's like, you have to do this. You can only do this. You can only do this.
So it, like, limits your creativity.
It does. Like,
too.
you know who's someone who doesn't do that? Marshmallow. And he is one of the biggest DJs in the world. He will go and make a song with Halsey, and it'll blow up and be top 10 on Billboard. And then he'll go and make a dubstep fucking EP with Sudden Death.
Yeah.
So it's like, why can't I do that?
Yeah, why not?
And that's what I want to do because I think he has a beautiful verse. Like, he could do everything, and that's what I want to do because, like, I love dubstep, I love pop, I love it all, so why can't I do it?
I love that.
Yeah.
But I love what you're talking about, like, about other artists inspiring you because...
Marshmallow, for sure. Like, how can you go back to back with, like, him, but then you're, like, top 10. You're, like, known as a mainstream DJ, and dubstep isn't mainstream.
Yeah.
It's called niche. And, like,
Not yet.
oh, I know it's called...
Not yet. We're working on it.
I don't know if it'll ever be mainstream, but I would love to see it.
Yeah.
But I think it's so cool that there's people like Marshmallow, who is technically considered mainstream, doing stuff with, like, Sudden Death and, like, doing stuff like, because it just shows that you could switch up genres. You don't have to stay in one, no matter, because then people are like, oh, you won't have a sound, but, like, you will, because if it's what you authentically want to do, then it's your sound.
Yes. Beautifully said. We're very much on the same vibe with this. Yeah. I want to hear if you could give advice to anybody that's starting off in the scene right now, that's trying to take DJing or producing more seriously. What advice would you give them?
Don't listen to anybody because they're probably going to be hating on you, and they're probably going to be like, it's their own insecurities because you're fucking doing something and they're not, and they're upset. And people will hate on you and make you feel like you're being cringy for making content. Fuck all those people. If this is what you want to do, literally mute everybody you went to high school with, everybody that you feel like insecure about, and just, like, fucking go for it. Because if that's what you want to do, then that's what you're going to do.
I like that.
Yeah. Don't let the evil eyes get a hold of you, because there's so many.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit, too, about...
I'm Buddha today.
I want to talk about you being a woman in the scene. Obviously, we are in a scene that is very male-dominated, and we've seen a lot of very talented women, like, come up in the scene and make a big name for themselves, you obviously being one of them. What has it been like to be a minority in the scene, and, like, how can we overall as a community better support women and female DJs and producers and artists in the EDM community?
I feel like first step would be stop comparing all the female artists, because we were already comparing ourselves. And that's just like, girl, like, I'm sure guys do too. Yeah. Everyone compares themselves, but in any genre of music, women are like, there's always like, oh, who do you like more, Billie or Olivia Rodrigo? Like, and it's the same in EDM world, and we're already, like, kind of internalizing it in ourselves. So, like, we don't need more people to do that. But also, like, if a woman producer makes a breakup song, why is she crazy for feeling like that when a guy can do the same thing and then he's, like, applauded for it? I feel like that needs to change. And that's a huge thing. I mean, Taylor Swift talks about it all the time. Like,
it's a double standard. Yeah.
It's always a double standard. And I feel like it will eventually change, hopefully. But I think those are the two things. Stop comparing and like stop making girls feel crazy for just writing about their experiences when guys can do the same and no one says anything.
Very well said. I love that. So here at Movement, we're very, very big on gratitude. And we've talked a lot about, throughout the interview, about things that you're thankful for. But I want to hear from you. What is something that you are very thankful for within music, and then something outside of music that you're very thankful for as well?
Definitely my fans. I love all my fans more than anything. I literally try to respond to all my fans and like make them feel happy and make them feel like that I'm their friend, because at the end of the day, like I'm nothing without them. And without music, I would say my dog.
Your dog? What kind of dog we got?
Oh my God, what's him?
Oh my gosh.
He's a pit bull.
He's so cute.
He's really cute. He's kind of dumb, but I really love him.
Okay. Random off question. 3 favorite breeds of dog.
Pit bull, labs, golden retriever.
Okay. Great answers there. I'll take that. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about or shout out before we wrap things up here?
No, I think I'm good. Thanks for having me, though.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for letting us chat with you, especially right before your first ever show on the tour here. We're super excited for you. We're super excited for the whole tour, for everyone to hear the album. We appreciate you taking the time with us. We appreciate everyone for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of The Launchpad. My name is Grant. This is Lucy.
Bye.